Yeah, man. Let's kill that bass head. Alright, let's do this.
I'm on the air, we got this podcast flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkling some entertainment. We stay humble, but our moms still think we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAPs.
Welcome, everybody, to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. I am your host, Anthony Bowes, and sitting next to me is a Mardi Gras wrapped in a cotton and polyester blend, my co-host, Matty G.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good, buddy. How are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad, man. I'm still alive, still on this side of the dirt.
Yeah, well, every day above ground is a good day to me. So
Been a beautiful week, man. Beautiful weather.
There we go.
Hey.
Hey.
And of course, joining us today, our guest is actor, entrepreneur, and 80s heartthrob Scott Valentine. Scott, thanks for joining us today.
Anthony, thank you kindly. It's a real pleasure to be with you, young men. Matthew, you look stunning with your Are your eyes blue or hazel?
Blue, they're blue, yeah.
Dude, you got killer eyes.
Thank you.
Matt's got a 4K camera, so he always puts me to shame every time because he's got this glorious camera that makes him look like this angelic cherub every time.
And I've got this shit lighting that makes me look like I'm caught inside a Viagra commercial.
Love it.
It's good. It'll work. It's okay. It's
hey,
I've
got one of those cool lights that's supposed to come in the mail today. The
ring lights.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm sure Matty G's probably got that. I can see it haloing his eyes right now. So it's another reason why his eyes look so sparkly.
He looks angelic, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. Yeah,
you do.
Yeah. We got to play theme music every time it comes on, and Matt goes to speak. Excellent. Well, before we get into the beef of things, why don't we jump into some humorous news articles today? We got a few good ones. All right, Maddie, why don't you lead us off?
Absolutely. All right. My first article. So Halton kid calls 911 after mom changes Xbox password. So Halton police are out with a reminder that 911 is for actual emergencies. Most of us who grew up in the era of video game consoles have been there. Your parents think you've had enough screen time for the day, and a standoff ensues. Yep. This scenario played out somewhere in the Halton region recently. A mom made a veteran move when she changed the password to her child's Xbox, but the kid wasn't going down easy. The locked out gamer unlocked a public mischief achievement by dialing 911, prompting Halton police to tweet, "Never thought I'd have to say this, but here we are." And then they proceeded to, quote unquote, say, "Obviously, this is not appropriate use of 911 services. As you know, 911 should be reserved for legitimate emergencies." Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So,
there's a millennial right there. Yeah. Give me the damn password back.
So it's so they're basically saying they gave him a warning, I guess, and then the next time it could be fined anywhere from $100 to $5,000.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know what? 911 isn't your personal pissing ground. You know, you got a problem with your parents. Well, let's be honest. As I grew up in that area where your parents gave you a rule and you listened to it. If not, there were consequences.
Yep.
So, having said that, I also remember the days of growing up and hitting up a Bandito video or a Jumbo video, and on a Friday night, and you get a game for a weekend. You rent that, and you try to literally grind as many levels as possible before it has to go back on Sunday.
Dude, I have a funny story actually about 911. So apparently when I was like 4 or 5, maybe, my grandparents were always watching like Rescue 911 on TV. Mm-hmm. And so I called 911 and emulated the episode. So I was like, what did I say? Something like, my dad's choking. But I was like, anyways, I got in so much shit because the ambulance actually showed up and they're like, "What the heck?" And they played the recording like back to my mom. And she's like, literally, it was like word for word the episode of TV that I just watched. So I
Oh
didn't know.
my
I was
God.
like 5.
Yeah. Well,
So
I guess you're learning now. So
yep. Yeah, don't do that.
You gotta hope that your kids don't pull that on you.
No, they're pretty luckily they're past that stage already. So
Yeah. Well, we'll
yeah.
see.
We just get prank calls to pizza shops. That's all now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. I mean, did you kind of blast through the video game period? I guess, Scott.
Oh God, please! We didn't have video games. I'm that old. Okay, my lord. And I don't want to say we were all playing with rocks and actually we were playing with rocks and sticks. No, the first video game that I remember that came in was Pong. Remember the tennis
Old
balls?
Atari system and
Yeah, going
yeah.
back and forth. No, it was hilarious. It was my sons who specifically my 32-year-old, and I'm trying to remember what got Donkey Kong. Remember
Okay.
Donkey
Oh yeah.
Kong?
Yeah.
Yeah. And him playing, getting so into it, him bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and jumping and moving and bouncing and going. And it was just
And this was just last year.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get into it, right? I mean, it's as they say, you play video games because not because you don't want to have a life, it's because you choose to have many.
Okay, that's good. We'll go with that. Yeah, we like that. Uh-huh. Please, I used to. Do you guys remember there was a game and you probably maybe dug it out of like the bargain bin? Tiger Healy.
Oh
That-
man, yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
One of
ring a
those
bell for me.
one of those helicopter games where
Yeah.
you were like traversing through the war zone. And the
yes.
thing is, there was no winning. There was no. You'd go up a level and another level and another level and another, but there was no victory. You never got to the end where there was like bump bum bum. You know.
It's really funny. There's a lot of games back in the 80s that were like that. When I was young, my dad somehow, I don't even know how this came across, but we picked up a stand-up arcade that was Xenophobe. And it's like it was one of the games that 4 players could play with this kind of Viper cannon joystick, and the screen was separate, so you could go across a tunnel and you had to shoot aliens and everything. And I remember playing it in the arcade, and then when we got it, I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. I can actually beat this game. I actually got through 100 levels and it rolled around to 0 and it kept going. And I was so outraged, I couldn't even look at the machine again.
Oh yeah. Yep. Sounds about right.
No, Tetris. Tetris was the shit.
Oh,
Yes.
I love Tetris.
And Tetris. Did you ever play with another person on the little what was it the small
Game
hand
Boy.
unit? Game
Yeah.
Boy, yes.
Yeah.
Where you tied to their Game Boy with a cable.
With the cord.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
The link cable.
Wi-Fi.
And I remember traveling around the country with this guy who's the head of distribution for this company that I had done a lot of cheesy sort of horror erotic thrillers for. And we came up with this whole vernacular and vocabulary for different moves and different pokey down and shit like that. But the shit was remember when you got, what was it, to a certain level, or when you won that the whole, like the Russian castle came and the music and all that.
Yep.
What did you have to get to? What level? Where was
50, I think, for the
think it was
Russian
50,
cat.
yeah.
I remember what you're talking about though,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
But didn't it go up to like 100 or 150
Oh, yeah,
or
like, I
200?
think it just kept going.
maybe it's 150. I'm thinking of it. I know it was some
I don't
increment
know.
of 50 though.
I don't know. It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
you know.
So.
But no, I was a little bit past. It was funny. I was talking to my other son today, who works with us, and we were talking about we're having problems with our OTT and what the coders are doing to build it to get it right for prime time. We already have an app. We just need to have the machine to put on the app. That's all, and all the content. And talking about coding, I remember when I was learning coding back in 1974, I think, and it was all zeros and ones, which essentially everything we see right now, everything we do is still zeros and ones.
Yep.
They're just very fancy zeros and ones, and,
That's right. Long strings of it.
Yes, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, good old binary. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, binary code, right.
Yeah, I had to do
funny.
that.
Well, now there's qubits now. You can be almost 1, almost 0. Have you ever heard of this?
No, what is that?
Quantum computing. It's basically, it means that there's no more just 1 and 0, but there's multiple states of 1 and 0.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it
Picture like a
exists.
dot matrix printer that only printed half the letter.
Wow.
It's
Really?
crazy. Yeah. Yeah, and it increases computational power like exponentially. So
Oh, sure.
yeah, they're able
So-
to use it in certain things.
Say like a fraction of 0 or a fraction
Yeah.
of 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. An infinitesimal amount?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very interesting, actually.
I'm sure if you think about it too hard, it actually creates a black hole.
In your brain. What do you got for articles today,
My
Tony?
article today: Sudanese plane makes emergency landing after the cat hijacks the cockpit. So in a bizarre incident, a passenger plane in Sudan was forced to make an emergency landing after the pilot was attacked by an unruly passenger, a cat. The flight from the Khartoum International Airport en route to Qatar's capital Doha had diverted back from Sudan when the feline and unregistered passenger was spotted inside the pilot's cabin. According to the report, the pilot tried to get the cat. The cat got a little crazy and started attacking the pilot, and they just said, "Forget this. We're going to take the plane." So it was about half an hour into the flight. The funniest thing out of all this, though, is it is not the only time this has happened. Not even just about a month ago, there was another cat that wreaked havoc inside a cockpit for Israeli Airlines. There was another one for a military plane that was arrived in Bangor International Airport. And there was even a Brussels airline pilot that became a victim to cat attacks. So I think it's stacking up. Don't trust those little buggers. Yeah, it's the next form of terrorism, I guess. Cats.
Have you ever driven with a cat in the car?
Yeah, it's like I just remember there's this really low growling sound they make, and they just freak out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I remember
when they get down on the wheel well, just below the brake or behind the accelerator. It's like, no.
Yeah. Oh my
Come
God,
on. What are you doing? Come on out of there. Yes. In order to brake, you're going to like kill the cat. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember driving with my cat, and it was like the first time I'd ever actually traveled with a cat. And I was driving along and thinking, oh my God, what the hell is that sound? I thought there was something wrong with my car. So I turned off the music and I kind of rolled down the window slightly, and I was listening to see what it was. And it turned out it was just a cat in the back in her carrier. So it was like the weirdest thing ever. Little buggers.
There was that time the cat snuck up into the engine compartment when it was cold to sleep on the in the block.
Yeah.
Started the car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Bonk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
we had an article. We had an article one time, and a bunch of squirrels filled all the engine cavities with peanuts. And the guy went to start his car, and like 30 squirrels came out of his car, and all these peanuts started shooting out everywhere.
It's really funny, man. The other day I was filling my windshield wiper fluid, and I popped the hood and I looked over, and all in the cavities around the poles of the batteries were acorns.
Okay.
And it made me think of that. So obviously a squirrel has been getting into my engine and storing acorns up on my battery.
That's awesome.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well, good. At least it's not like sticking a banana in the tailpipe or anything. So
that's fair.
Yep. What else you got, Matt?
So this is a follow-up. So a while back, do you remember a while back we had that that article about the guy that had sex with the Olaf doll at Target?
Yes, that was our episode of Do You Want to Do a Snowman?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he finally got like charged officially. So
that was a long time.
So yeah, it took a long time to work its way through. So we'll revisit the story. So a 22-year-old man, Florida man, accused of performing a sex act with a stuffed unicorn and an Olaf doll from Disney's blockbusters Frozen, has been ordered to undergo psychiatric evaluation. No shit.
Why did it take year for them to decide that?
Right? Cops say that the man was busted in St. Petersburg Target in October 2019. So that does show you how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Police and Disney enthusiasts began rubbing his special area against 2 stuffed animals before basically pleasuring himself with an Olaf character. According to New York Daily News, store security captured the 6'2", 220-pound man hovering around the bin of stuffed toys. He was wearing a Star Wars t-shirt and shorts before he was overcome with carnal desire.
You know what? I got to stop you, man. I feel like at this point, they're just giving Star Wars fans a bad name.
Right? I don't, like, well, why is that relevant?
You have to put
I had to include it from the original article, but I was like, why is that? Watch out for guys wearing Star Wars t-shirts.
Oh, man, I got to get rid of that collection of shirts now.
I just looked up Olaf doll.
Well, you haven't seen Frozen.
No, no. And I can't understand why would somebody want to have sex with an Olaf doll?
Right? There's
yeah.
Go to the Barbie section.
Or my pink pony. Okay.
My Little Ponies would have been a better choice.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so bizarre. Still to this day, I can't even look at an Olaf the same now.
They got his dad on record and quote unquote, he was always doing stupid stuff. No shit.
Oh boy, that's just
so proud.
Yeah.
So he actually had his penis outside of his pants.
Yep.
And he was actually rubbing his penis against the Olaf doll in the Target. I wonder, was he laying down or standing up? Because
multiple positions. I think it was a slow day at Target.
Oh my God, that's horrible. That's
just
horrible. It's like there's a delay on the chat section. I know so a lot of people have just chimed in. Apparently I was wrong. It wasn't Atari. It was ColecoVision that had come up with that. Thanks for Mike for fact checking that for us. So Jason Taylor. It seems like you've been on Jason Taylor's show at one point.
Yes.
They're good guys. I really like them. So.
Very fine lad.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So my next article, this one, honestly, this was a fun one. I really, really enjoyed this one. Hey Matt, you know how like we've talked about you trying to pick up a new car every once in a while, and you have been kind of back and forth on looking at a new vehicle as of late.
Yep.
I think what you need to do is you need to take a little maybe a note from this guy's book. So this article was taking the slogan "sheer driving pleasure" a little bit too far. Like we often kind of discuss crazy crimes and bizarre, baffling elements, but this one is kind of going up there for the Darwin Award, where a gentleman by the name of Eric Dion Warren is basically had gone to a BMW dealership and decided that he'd like to test drive a car. He came back and then decided that he wanted to put a $3,000 down on the car. What transpired that the dealership didn't know of right away is he took that BMW to a bank, robbed a bank, slipped the note to the teller saying, "Give me $10,000 or I'll shoot you." Pulled out a pellet gun. They gave him money. He drove back to the dealership and then attempted to buy the car with the money. So of course the security and had started calling out to the police. Police called all the BMW dealerships. The BMW dealership said, "Yep, that was our car." And they showed up to arrest the guy, which case he just confessed that he did it.
Well, what was like the dead giveaway? He still had the miles per gallon sticker on the side of it.
Well, I mean, it probably would have had a dealer plate, right? So they would have been like, okay, so this guy's obviously test driving a car.
Oh my God, man, that is hilarious.
So there's our stupid article of the day. And just so you know, it wasn't Florida, it was a Texas man.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
My Olaf guy was Florida.
Yeah.
Matt, what kind of cars you looking at?
Yeah, right.
You know what? I it's funny, like I want something a little bit sporty. I've been driving, I have 2 boys and they're still quite young, so we've been doing the SUV thing, but I really like the Kia Stinger. I want a Stinger.
Matt wants a Kia. Yeah. Matt's got to that stage of his life where his car now has to resemble his dick.
You know what? I've always been a fan of American muscle. You know what I mean? Like a Challenger is probably my favorite car, to be honest. But it's just too impractical. So I wanted something kind of sleek, with some decent horsepower, nothing too crazy. So
Yeah.
Now wait, the Challenger, how's that handle? I mean, it's got muscle. It can go great in a straight line.
yeah,
How does it do in curves?
not amazing. So yeah, we have a lot of straight lines up here in Canada, so it's hopefully not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too curvy. What's really funny? I remember. So my all-time favorite vehicle was a 1956 Corvette. Like it's like the dream car. And I remember thinking, my God, I really loved one of these. And then I used to work for a hot tub company when I was younger. And one of the customers, who was an Air Force pilot, came in, and he had one. And then he was like, "Oh my God, yeah!" I was drooling over the car. So, "Oh, you want to sit in it and check it out?" And he said, "Listen, I'd let you take it for a drive, but there is no power steering in this." And this guy had 4 arms like legs, and he's like, "And my arms are exhausted after driving for about an hour."
I would bet.
So-
Holy shit!
So, yeah, so then I was just like, "Oh, maybe that's not the most realistic car to have." So
Matt,
When
the
I would-
Stinger's a nice looking car. I'm looking at
Yeah.
it. I like it. Okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little car, and
Yeah.
and it's I don't know, I really like them. It's not too it's not like a Porsche or anything like it's not an Aston Martin, but it's good for me, I think. So
Well, did you hear Mercedes is going to eliminate putting any engine larger than a 4-cylinder in their sedans now, except for the AMG package, which is pretty amazing.
it makes sense, and I think they're under a lot of regulations too, because I know they have to convert a certain percent of vehicles into electric or other types of fuel by a certain date. I was just reading that. I don't know the exact one, but a lot of car makers up here in Canada too doing the same thing. They have to convert just to more eco-friendly vehicles.
Oh, wait a second, Anthony, are you up in Canada too?
yes, yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This has been real. It has. Okay. I can't talk to people from the 51st state. Okay.
Come on now, we're just Americans with healthcare.
No, that used to be a good joke prior to our former president, which it was, "Please may I escape to Canada." All right.
Right. Remember, we sheltered a lot of people.
Yeah, I was looking to get landed immigrant status. All right.
There's
Yeah.
lots of great retirement / cottage area up here, So
Where are you guys in Canada? Where are you at?
Kingston,
Ontario.
Ontario. I
Yeah.
love Canada. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Love, 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 love. Have you been out to Whistler?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
I was out 3 years ago. I was out in Whistler in the summertime, actually, and we went whitewater rafting. We went. I went on the world's longest zip line, and it's pretty amazing.
Beautiful. In Quebec, Montreal, but they're so goddamn just stuck up and Fuji,
Yep.
Well, you know what? I actually found the secret of that is it's if you go in and you at least attempt to speak French, even be it absolutely poorly, and you're just basically saying, "Hey, do you speak English?" They respect that, and they will turn around and speak English. But if you don't attempt it, they're insulted, in which case they're not going to make life easy for you.
So if I walk up and I say, "Bonjour, je suis bête, très bête,"
yes,
they'll love me.
If you just said, "Est-ce que tu parles anglais?" They'll turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, I do."
Yeah. Yeah, most of them do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But
it's just approaching it the right way, I guess. So.
I'm having major light envy here. I keep looking at myself, and I've got this like blue haze, and Maddie looks so crystal clear and crisp. And
you just got to get that ring light, man. It makes a
no,
huge
fuck
difference.
you, Maddie. Okay, just fuck you.
Yeah, that's putting us all to shame. Damn it.
That's fair.
Really, Maddie? How old are your kids? Boys, girls?
2 boys. So
really?
my
Okay.
oldest is 13 and my youngest is 9.
Dude, you have a 13-year-old?
Yeah, I'm 33.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you look like 23. Seriously. High five. Way to go. All right.
Thanks, man. I still get carded at the beer store. It's embarrassing sometimes.
It's a beautiful thing getting carded. Don't give it up, okay?
I won't.
No.
No.
Love it.
It's always
Love-
nice when that happens. I'm just like, "Oh, aren't you flattering? Here you go."
No, what
Yeah.
sucks is when people start calling you sir. Okay, that hurts. It
Yeah.
does. Yeah, I was out hiking one time. I could go on a hike every weekend, and it was probably, I'm 62, so let's say around 45, 48. And every person I encountered on the trail was, "Hi, sir. Hello, sir." By about the fifth one, I'm like, "No, please. Okay. How about dude or guy or
Dude,
man?
guy.
All right. This is
Yeah.
sir shit. Stop. All right."
Yeah, everybody it's an equal thing, right? I mean, age is a number. It just depends on how you feel like inside, and that's all that really matters. So,
Yeah.
Maddie
It's
looks 22. Oh, look at that, Jason. Good
Thanks,
job.
Jason. I'll take it.
Yep.
now Anthony, on the other hand, looks like he's almost ready for retirement. So
It's not far, it's not
This is the look of a man who's been through some shit.
well, look, he's got some gray coming in on the beard there.
Oh, look at that. My camera is better definition than I thought. Damn it.
Uh-huh.
I normally try to shave this down a little tighter before the show so people don't see that. But honestly, the moment I found out they said it's a girl, the gray just came in. So, yeah. So
You have offspring as well?
yes, I have 2 daughters.
Oh my God.
One that is 6 and one that's 13. And the 13 years ago is when I got my first hair or my gray hair.
See that, Maddie? You only have to worry about 2 penises. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, when it's so funny because my friend Mike had said that to me, and he was just like, "Well, I guess the best thing is I only have to worry about one penis, where you have to worry about them all." And I was like, "You're such a dick."
So wait, they're how old? 13 and
13 and 6.
so is it giving you a new perspective on life, do you think?
It definitely does. I will totally hate men. I look at because Matt's oldest is the same age as my daughter, and quite frankly, Adam can keep the hell away from my kids. His old man's like. So,
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But so Scott, let's do a little talking about you.
Why?
Well,
Why?
You're a fun,
Boring. I'd rather talk about Maddie and his sons and all the mountains they're going to conquer, and your daughters, how they're going to have you right here, wrapped right around their little finger.
It's already happened. Yeah, it's just
Has it? Yeah.
Yep. That ship has sailed.
Yeah, and this is why I had to build a studio outside of the house just for a place for me to actually go to, because the closer they get to high school, there's way too much estrogen pumping in the house between my wife, 2 girls. And both pets are girls. Like it's just there's no space for a man anymore.
13, 9. Your 13-year-old will start her menstrual cycle, what, in about a year? Around
Probably
there?
anytime. Probably
Yeah. Yeah. And her and your wife will be in rhythm together. You're
that'll
just,
probably, yeah.
dude, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the studio. You
Yeah,
are.
you're gonna be
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to get all sorts of mail saying what sexist pigs we are. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still worse than what we already got.
cool.
So speaking of that, I really want to. I'm going to jump by the Family Ties thing for a second. I really want to talk to you about one of my favorite movies, and I heard it actually wasn't one of yours, but My Demon Lover. To this day, it's so funny because I still remember this movie. And by the way, I also rented it and rewatched it again. Thank you. That change will be coming towards you at some point. But it was still just as fun, except for I think now that I was older, I could not understand why they introduce your character as just being kind of overly touchy and grabby to women, right? Like, because it wasn't until later your character actually progressed and you're like, oh, okay, now he's normal and he's got a demon inside him. So every time he gets aroused, he turns into a different demon.
Tony, stop bringing it up. He's gonna get canceled. The movie's gonna get it's 2021. Everything's getting canceled. Maybe we should just skip this segment.
No, it has to happen because
save the poor guy's royalties.
Anthony's right. He's right because the guy initially, you know what? That's a very keen assessment there, lad.
Yeah. It was weird
because he was all grabby and horny and like just totally violating women's their personal space or their
like just
their
grabbing
personage
randomly.
Yeah, I mean he'd be arrested now today.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I mean, look at how funny it is how sensibilities have changed. Somebody was all up in arms about Pepe Le Pew being canceled.
We just read that.
Yes.
But you have to look at it. It's not. At one time, it was acceptable to do blackface, and then eventually we realized that's really uncool. and it's not the that's a very poor reflection.
Problems for that still.
Yeah,
Brent
and
is still paying for that.
it's really not a way to go. I mean, I knew that in the I don't know in the 70s. You know, I mean, I've got a shitload of black friends. It was uncool and demeaning. So now to see Pepe Le Pew for his way of approaching women and him not realizing that the woman has said no. When she says no, back off. I mean, we're joking about guys and girls and sex and all that. I have 4 sons. Where's my hand? There it is. And they're all young men, and I've taught all of them, and I'm very appreciative and very honored of the fine, respectful individuals they have grown to be. And really to not be handsy grabby is even more so to respect yourself. Don't be a jerk. Don't be an asshole. You're good enough to approach somebody properly, and when the right time, sex will happen. You know, but don't
Great
be
point.
violating women or men, whatever your proclivity is. Which I get so confused. We used to be able to say preference, and now your identification. Whether you want to suck on a breast or a dick, you know, whatever your
Yeah.
whatever rocks your boat, whatever you dream about. But the guy in the movie, to get back to that, yeah, he was very wrong. Now, when I say I don't like the movie, that is in no way addressed towards anybody that I worked on the film with. The director, Charlie Loventhal, great guy. The producer, the studio that did it, New Line Cinema, Bob Shea. To this day, we're still buddies. He's a great guy. Michelle Little, the female lead, great gal. Gina, I can't remember her name. The guys that did the special effects makeup.
Yeah.
When I say that I wished I hadn't done it, I was so stupid and so naive. I did that after my first year on Family Ties. And I went from Family Ties doing a one-shot gig where you're going to be here for a week and okay, we'll see you later. And they came up at the end of the week and said, hey, we kind of like you hanging around. Would you like to come back? I'm like, yeah, sure. It's kind of fun. And I likened it to, that was the first professional job I got going out to LA. I was a New York actor doing theater and only wanted to do theater. After being run over by a truck and having all sorts of, you know, dying, coming back, having fake parts put in, I couldn't get arrested in New York. So I reluctantly went to LA. Reluctantly did a sitcom where I was so snooty. I was not an actor. I was a tragedian. I was a thespian. Okay.
Yeah.
We only do Congreve and Wycherley. We don't even sink to the depths of Shakespeare. Okay. And getting on Family Ties, having a lot of fun. It was rather arrogant, I think, to the rest of the Hollywood community to go, hey, I've been on a sitcom for a year as the fifth wheel, and now I can carry a movie. I'm Mr. Hot Shit. And I saw it when it was sent to me, and it's like, oh, cool. I get to play like a fat Buddha man. I get to play an old Jewish woman. I get to play like this horny dude. And it was a succession of different characters. And I thought, that'll be fun. You know, I had no idea the makeup, the prosthetics. So, some of the days, the prosthetics, you know, the full thing with the horns and the head and went all down your body. That took about 12 hours to get into.
Wow.
Holy
So
shit.
I would show up at about 3 a.m, get to the set at about 3 p.m, and we'd shoot as much as we could to shoot it out. So I was commonly having 32-hour work days.
Wow.
And just tired as a motherfucker and just totally like and also it's a little demeaning having all the makeup on your hands. Can you guys see my hands? You see, right?
Yeah.
I've got the window. Okay. Having the makeup on your hands with the nail. Oh, you rock, motherfucker. I love you.
You can be more animated.
Wait,
now.
Do either of you know what band that gentleman's from up there? Okay, because that's
Now I got to zoom back in again. Oh no, I can't.
Yeah, I can't make it out.
Is that what it said?
Mike Gordon is his name, and he's part of the band Fish, but that's his own.
Okay.
His own deal that he had going. And that picture over there.
Yep. Light controls. Yep.
That's Nick from Family Ties, believe it or not.
Yeah. One I actually recognized instantly.
Okay. But doing that, I wished I had chosen. I didn't need the money. It wasn't for the money. It was truly for fun. I worked my ass off. There was a lot of brouhaha over should they release it as My Demon Lover, because I had a lot of young Christian folks that were fans of mine, and I alienated them by putting demon in the title. And I wish that I had picked a role, maybe one scene, two scenes in a movie with somebody much bigger than me, somebody much more important, with somebody with much more weight. And then also, if the movie failed, they wouldn't go, it's Valentine's fault. He fucked up, you know. And as a young actor, you go, oh God, maybe I did fuck up. No, you didn't. You did the best you could. You
Yeah.
came, you brought, you did.
Yeah.
And it's not like you slacked off. A film, and also on the flip side, it's amazing when they say, oh, look, there's a film with Mickey Mouse in it, and it's made $1 gazillion. Mickey's a star. We love you, Mickey. It's not just Mickey. It's the DP, it's the set decorator, it's the gaffers, the grips, the sound crew.
The
It's
script itself.
Yeah, it's the writer, the director, the editors, the marketing people, when it's distributed, where it's distributed. So there are infinitesimal elements that go into, sort of like Matt and him splitting zeros and ones with his goddamn binary code.
Yep.
Fucking kids. Until I get you behind the woodshed, young man. I'll show you a fraction of zero. All right.
What are you gonna pull down your pants?
You raise 4 boys and go through 22 years of acrimonious marriage and then get divorced and see how much of a zero you have. Okay?
It turns into a negative after a while.
Thank you. Hello. Hey, you there? Come on, buddy. Let's go. Get you in the party. All right.
But it's true. Like, I mean, just the scripts alone can make a difference. I mean, look at something like Batman Forever had an all-time massive cast in it, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger's lines were so bad and cheesy that it's like I just couldn't even look at it. It was like, I'm done with this movie now.
Well, it's when because I'm a producer now, and the thing that turns me on most about artists, whether it's a director, a writer, a painter, a sculptor, a musician, is somebody who has a take. Somebody who says, this is my vantage point, and I'm going to tell the story this way. You look at Oliver Stone, you look at, what's his name that did Reservoir Dogs and then Pulp Fiction?
Tarantino.
Tarantino. They have a take. Whether you like what they're doing or not, they have a definitive take. Yeah. And it's the same thing if I could say to young actors when they go out to audition and sitting on the other side of the table now, just about, of the 100% that comes in, 10 to 15% should go get another job. They should. They're never going to get it. They aren't. Yeah. 80% are okay. They're not bad. They're not bad. They're not good. And they may not just be the right, we're looking for strawberry and you're lemon, or we're looking for guacamole and you're actually hummus, not that you're bad. And then there's that 5% that is that je ne sais quoi. That is that there's something there that nobody else has. So to believe in that, own that, to have it. And guys, like, as much as, look, I can't speak to Oliver Stone's personal conduct and his supposed lecherous demeanor with young ladies, but as a director, as a filmmaker, there's a take. There's something there. Yes. And especially in Hollywood, you need to shut out a lot of the riffraff and the bullshit. I'm a learned, trained actor. I've done legit shit. I've done Broadway. I've done where there's nothing but you, the script, and the audience on a stage. Believe in that. Trust that. Be that. Yeah. So I don't want to go back and say, I wish I hadn't done My Demon Lover. I wished I chose another film at that time that didn't put all the weight of its success upon my shoulders to have longevity in my career. I mean, look, you look at, they tried to spin off the character Nick. There was the first pilot, the guy who played my grandfather, it was picked up, he died. Like 2 or 3 weeks we were supposed to go in production, he died, and like, well, we can't recast, go back on the show. The next year there was the script that was so bad, and I don't want to say who the folks are that wrote it, but at least we had enough sense to go, well,
yeah,
somebody did have their Cheerios this morning. And then the next year there was the show, the spinoff that I did with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's just a phenomenal talent, is a phenomenal human being. Ray Baker was in that. Christine Sutherland played my sister. They're phenomenal actors.
Yeah.
And we got caught into a political mishmash between Gary Goldberg and Brandon Tartikoff. And
Mhm.
we, as artists, all got shit upon because of Gary's ego and Brandon's ego. So you got to hang in there and just believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing, you know.
Yeah.
And Charlie, I don't ever want it to get back to Charlie and have him think, "Hey, I did a great job directing that film." He did. He was a great guy to work with.
Yeah.
He was a really good guy.
It was
Yeah.
a fantastic film. Like and when I say that, if you go look at
It was okay, you know. I mean, to look at it now, it's cheeky. It's kind of cheesy. And I'm sure you saw that show, Black Scorpion, that I did.
yeah,
That was great in its cheesiness
yes,
and its kitschiness, and it was almost like Batman from the '60s. Remember? I don't know if you ever saw reruns of the old series.
yeah, Burt Ward and Adam West.
But at the time when we did that, we knew we were doing, cheeky, cheesy stuff. We knew it, and we had
you're
fun with it.
self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, you know what? If it works, it works. If it doesn't,
Mhm.
so what? On to the next.
But with a Mind Demon Lover, like it fit in perfectly with 80s films. It had the perfect 80s music. It had that kind of comedy. It definitely makes you. It was written well so that you liked a character, even though he had a very rough start in the film. By the time it kind of peters out, and you say like, "Hey, here's a guy who's actually quite a nice person who's been cursed," then that's when the movie takes off, right? And then it really starts to kind of fit in, and it's for the time fantastic special effects. Like the first time where you go to turn on camera and the spine starts like pushing up and elongating, and the skin kind of bubbles out. It was fantastic.
Yeah, great. Did you ever see him? The first film I ever had a lead in was called Dead Time Stories. I don't know if you ever saw it.
I think
It
I
was-
remember seeing it when I was younger. I don't remember a lot about it, but
It was. They started filming it in 1982. After I was run over by the truck and I had a horrible limp and looked like Quasimodo when I walked, and they said that's great for the character. It works. And they got part of the way through shooting it, ran out of money. Okay. Intimate Strangers, Let Go. There we go. Yeah.
that was such a great song. I love that song. Yep.
And there was what was the other band that I guess, yeah. Anyway, so Dead Time Stories was initially, I can't remember the other title. They ran out of money, and the guy who's the director is still a very dear, sweet, loving, kind friend of mine. He got more money together, and he did it as 3 vignettes. One of the vignettes stars Melissa Leo. I don't know if you know Melissa, Academy Award-winning actress, just a phenomenal human being. And that film, there's an effect in it. I think you may even be able to find it on YouTube. This skin growing where they bring to life a corpse, and it's all this reverse motion effects that they did. So for 1982, it's pretty fucking cool, dude. Yeah, very cool shit. Look at My Demon Lover. The guys that did the makeup, they went on and won an Academy Award for special effects makeup. They were great guys. It was very weird having to have a man pull my penis out of my pants so I could urinate, but Maddie's like, I do that all the time. It's no big deal, I go down to the corner, I find something.
We call that a Canadian handshake.
Oh, that's disgusting, Matthew. Just disgusting. Anthony, can we block him out? I can't take this anymore, okay?
Oh, God.
Pressure anyways. So, there we go. No, he's always there. We could shrink him down maybe. No. Matt's always here. It doesn't matter what you do.
He just keeps coming back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Matty G, you had a question you wanted to ask Scott.
Well, you actually answered
Maddie,
a lot of my.
I will not do the Canadian handshake with you.
Come on, man.
You have a very pretty penis. We all are very appreciative and think it's lovely, but we don't need to hold it. Okay.
Fine. No, I wanted to know what it was like being a teen heartthrob in the 80s. Like, it was funny. I told a few of my family members that you were coming on the show, and they immediately knew who you were. And just kind of, they were like, "Oh, I have so many questions, but like, Did you stockpile penicillin in the 80s? Like you must have been just
Yes, your 55-year-old aunt said, I had a crush on him.
This is my stepmom, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool, dude. No, it was weird, Maddie. It was weird. When
Yeah.
I got on the show, literally, I had gotten married, did the first episode and was engaged, marriage plan, got married, and then got on the show. And it was, how do I put this tactfully? I've never had trouble finding a date. Okay. I was, because of genes and nothing I did.
Yeah, you're
I
a
was,
good looking guy. Yeah.
I was very lucky. I had a very handsome father and a beautiful mother. I used to think my mother was oh God, what's her name? I can't think of it. The beautiful actress from the 50s and 60s. She hung out with Michael Jackson when she was in her 80s. Liz Taylor.
Oh,
I mean, my mother literally looked like Elizabeth Taylor. My dad was very handsome. So as long as you could chew gum and walk, you were able to get a date, especially growing up in Saratoga Springs, New York. You know, to dress up, all you had to do was not wear work boots and jeans. So chicks were like, wow, okay, he's cute.
That's legit.
The weird thing, I remember one of the weirdest things was going to look to buy a house and touring and looking at houses and walking into obviously the teenage girl's bedroom and seeing posters of me on the wall. It was odd. The time it was on the ceiling was a little bit odd, and I wondered why it was up there, but
That explained itself after a while.
You're like, we'll take it and just leave the posters where they are.
But it was sort of, and I'm sure everybody says this, that there's no preparedness for it. I mean, I did plays for years in New York, and some were reviewed well, some were not reviewed well, and occasionally got recognized. But you're on TV, and literally the next day, it's like, woof. And the power of television in that day was rather significant. Now, television now, as we know it, is quite different. Then there was 3 or 4 networks. Now there's what, a gazillion different portals to get programming from. But to become that popular that quick was a little daunting in a way. It wasn't like, oh God, it was so hard, I couldn't handle it. It was cool. It was fun. It was great having chicks run up and go, here, sign my tits. You know,
Was it hard on your marriage?
Okay.
Because of that?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was because there were times going on trips where I'd get at the hotel room at 3 a.m, and there'd be some woman naked, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And and people were like, "Oh my God, did you grab her, bring her in, and fuck her?" No, because imagine forget TV. If you're a normal guy and you're in your hotel room and some woman knocks on your door at 3 a.m. that you don't know and only has on a trench coat and does this, it's like, nah, that's okay.
Yeah. You like to sleep?
Exactly.
Well, I don't know what kind of creepy crawlies are like.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
And like not having STDs. All right.
Yeah.
So I mean, yes, it's rather fun. It's nice having girls go, oh. But on the other hand, you realize it's not you. It's the time, the place, the element. It really isn't you per se. It's a combination of the whole bouillabaisse. And it got a little bit, I mean, it just got to the point of women showing up doing things like the 3 a.m. I used to have, when I'd go travel to do appearances or do shows, I'd have to have a guy go with me. And I'll never forget this first time that this young man who worked for the agency, and he went with me, and he's like, okay, no problem. I got it. I'm a black belt in 5 different martial arts. And yeah, that's cool. That's it. Well, I've got guns. No, we don't need guns. We don't need any guns, all right?
You're flashing boobs, not grenades.
Really? He's holding us up. There is a story I got to tell you about the police in Kansas City, though. I don't know if we have time to get to that. But I'm in my room, and we have one of those adjoining rooms, where there's the door between. And finally, okay, Maddie or Andrew, go to sleep. Nighty-night. And I'll see you in the morning. But if I knock on your door, that means there's a problem. And at 3 a.m, there's this my hotel door, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look out, and it's this woman, and she's like standing there with the coat on and the high heels, very cliched. And I'm like, oh fuck. I knock on the door. It's like, Andrew, time to earn your money. Let's go. Wow. Put some clothes on, okay? What? call security, get her out of here, and just open the door and get her gone. Because I always thought it was somebody trying to plant somebody to trap me.
Yeah.
I never thought it was like, oh, free sex. I always thought it was somebody with an ulterior motive. And so Matt opens the door, or Andrew opens the door. What are you doing? She's like, all of a sudden she's in. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you letting her? Well, she's naked.
Good one job.
Really, what? Get her to the elevator. Get her out of here. Go. So it was just, shit like that. You didn't really. I had to get up and do a job the next morning. Probably wake up within 3 hours. Wanted to eat my breakfast, go work out, and get to the set. And not, I didn't need strange women with little creepy crawlies on their vagina to come and suck on my.
Andrew fucked it up. Andrew, you're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was weird. Kansas City, I was doing an appearance once, and we'd get paid a lot of money. It's embarrassing how much they paid you. Really, it was kind of, and I felt guilty. I'm thinking I'm making more in a weekend than most people make in a year. It was I had a hard time reconciling that. It wasn't comfortable for me. And we get off the plane, and there's these, are we out of time?
No,
not at all.
Okay. All right. There's the guy from the show who meets you, like the handler for the show, and then there's the producer of the show, and then there's the two cops. I'm like, oh no, we got Barney Fife and his partner here, Chuckle Huckle, right? So we get in the car, and they're asking the typical questions, and I'm being polite. I'm a polite guy. And we're riding in the limo, which I don't like limos. I'd like to be up front, talk to the driver. I'm not uncomfortable with that whole back thing. We get to the hotel, and I'm like, okay, thanks, guys. I'll just check in. They're like, no, we got it. All right. And, like this group of 4 men walk up to the, clear the way. There's nobody to clear. Right? And they stay there while we check in. I want to give my credit card for incidentals. Oh, no, it's all right. We got it. Like, okay, great. I'm going up to the room. No, gotta make sure the elevator's safe. There's nobody around. There's just an 80-year-old woman with her walker. Okay. And there's like some dad with his little kid. I think we're safe. We're okay.
Yeah.
We get on the elevator. They get on the elevator with us. I'm like, okay. Elevator doors open. I'm like, okay, see you later. And they're like, no, we'll get you in the room. So we walk to the room, and all of a sudden, one of the guys, who I find out a little while into it, are off-duty cops. And they go and they do the key card to let me in the door. And I'm like, I don't like that he has a key to my room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not cool with that. And we walk in, and it's one of these suites. I don't need a suite. I'm here for 2 nights. I need a bed. I need a door to shut. And I need a gym downstairs. That's all I need. Okay. And I'm talking a big suite, where they got the dining room.
Oh, wow.
Grand piano and the kitchen and all that shit. And there's a bedroom over there and a bedroom over here. And I'm like,
wow.
And the guy who's with me at the time is my agent, Michael, who's very gay. as gay can be. Pretty gay, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mikey, come here. He's like, what? I'm like, I don't like this. I don't want these guys in my room. I don't know what's going on. You stick next to me. You're like fucking glue. Let them think we're lovers. I don't care. Just, I want you next to me. And somehow they're like, okay, we've got the show. You got 7:00. You go on. I'm like, guys, all good. Okay. I'll order a sandwich. I'll be downstairs. How far is the venue away from here? Oh, it's right across the street. So 10 minutes, I said, I'll be downstairs at 6:45. Okay. Pick me up. I'm ready. Are you sure you got? Yes, I know how to get dressed. I know how to change my clothes. So they leave, right? And one of us are going to be right outside the door just in case. No, guys, I'm not like a politician. I'm no international businessman. I'm on a fucking sitcom. Okay. Just go.
Like a makeup artist who already holds my penis while I pee. Yeah.
So we go to leave at 6:45 to go down to the lobby. I said, I'll meet you in the lobby. Open the door, and they're right there. And I'm like, okay, let's go do the show. And we go do the show. we get done, we come back, I don't know, and the show was supposed to be 7 to 10, and it wound up we were there probably to 11:30, and I want to make sure everybody that lines up, if they're going to charge them to come into the venue, and then they're going to charge them for a picture for me, if you're in line by time, I'm going to give you an autograph, and I'm going to shake every hand, and I'm going to look at every person, say, God, aren't you nice? Thank you for coming. You know, that's their hard-earned money, and I need to show that respect.
Yeah.
So we get done about that time. We go back to the hotel. It's the same rigmarole. We come back. And as we walk in, the whole thing, they come into the, the center room again and all that shit. And eventually, to make it go quick, at one point, one of the cops goes, look what I got. Got a little nose candy for everybody.
Oh, gee.
Dude, really? Aren't you a cop? Yeah, it's okay. We got it out of whatever, something they took from somebody they arrested or whatever.
The old evidence locker.
And look, we got a little bit of talent coming by for you ladies. A little nose candy, little ladies. And then all of a sudden, hear ding dong, ding dong. And they open the door. And there's like 3 or 4 chicks. And I'm like, shut the door. Shut the door. And I look at Michael again, who's gay as all can be. And he's like, I'm like, look, this is what we're going to do. Okay, I got an idea. Here's my key to this door. You obviously have a key to that door. Give me the key you have to that room and give me the key you have to that room. Well, give me the key you have to each room, please. Right? Which one goes to this room? Here, Mikey, here's the key to your room. Well, Scotty, Mikey, take the fucking key. I take my key. I said, okay, I've got both the keys to my room. Mikey's got both the keys to his room. I'm going to call down to the front desk and tell them, please do not give out any more keys to anybody, even if somebody has a gun to their head. I don't want anybody coming into my room. I'm going to go in and I'm going to lock the door from my side. Mikey's going to go in his room and he's going to lock the door from his side. You guys can use this room tonight. You do whatever you want to do with those young ladies. You do whatever you want to do with the nose candy. But when I wake up, because I will set my alarm for 6 a.m., and I'll order my breakfast for 6:15, and I want to be down to the gym by 6:30, you're gone. Room's clean, nobody here. Okay, guys? Y'all have fun. Good night. These were fucking cops. Fucking cops.
It's crazy, man.
So you ask, was it fun? Parts of it were fun. Part of it I always felt awkward when I had that, that teeny tiny moment where I was like one of the guys or one of the kids, where you'd walk to the restaurant and be, oh, Mr. Valentine, come right this way. And there's 50 people waiting. And it's like, well, it's not fair, but okay. All right, I'll take advantage of it,
Yeah.
I mean, and it was back in the day where if you were late getting to your flight, they'd hold your, there was one time, it's another, just trying to change my kid's diaper. Yeah. We're going from one terminal to another terminal in Chicago, and Shaler, my second son's maybe 9 months old, and all of a sudden, you guys know your dad's.
Yeah.
And we get to the gate, they're waiting for us, and I said, "Look, this little guy, he just did a number in his drawers. Why don't we let my wife get on the plane with my other son? I'll change his diaper here." All right. And I'm like, honey, go get on the plane, get situated. And I go to change his diaper. And the next thing you know, there's one, can you sign this for me? And then another person and another. And I'm like crowding in on me and my kid. And finally I said, guys, please, what do you want me to do? Sign it with my son's fecal matter? All right.
You should have just dipped it in and said, yep, 1 second. Doop. Have a good day.
No, it's more annoying at that point.
Yeah.
So at times like that, it's like, really? So part of, I got sick of Hollywood at a certain point, going from acting to producing. And around 03, 04, my last production deal was at Madonna's company. And that was just a bastion of ineptitude. It really was. The guy who was the head of that side of the business was doing coke and fucking whores in his office, and the other idiots were children. And I remember sitting at my desk one day, and I've got one of those offices with a glass wall that looks out to the center part of the office. And I'm thinking, and I see these guys come back from lunch, and I know they've been drinking. I'm assuming, I don't know definitively, that they were doing blow. And I'm thinking, you want to feed your kids this way? Are you fucking stupid, Scott? And I literally typed out my see you later letter that day and was like gone. Wow. And went into investment banking. We went in, we started playing, which I think is very honorable, converting garbage, literally poop, MSW, which is, waste paper and shit like that, and biomass, tree trimmings, grass trimmings,
Yeah.
things like that,
Mhm.
and converting that to gas, and then converting that gas to power. So I
Excellent.
just for years got sick of the business. And around 15, 16, met the guy who's now my partner, Larry Meistrich, which we're launching Red Coral. Red Coral Universe will be our OTT. We've just launched to compete with you fellas. We've launched our own podcast, which is called Why Should I Listen to Them? Which our bent is having artists on, because we feel artists are the keepers of culture. Artists, in a way, are keepers of sanity. That when shit turns really real, people go to movies or books or poetry or watch dance or paint or something to escape and sort of keep it together mentally.
Yeah.
But meeting Larry, he and I initially sniffed each other like a couple of dogs in the yard. Can we trust each other? And because he had been through a lot of shit. Now Larry's won two of the films he's done, Sling Blade, and I think You Can Count on Me.
Mhm.
One won an Academy Award, another was nominated for Academy Award.
Sling Blade was fantastic. Yeah.
Larry's been involved with over 140 films.
Wow.
He's very smart,
Yeah.
very funny. He's a great dad. That was one of the things that impressed me first.
Mhm.
When me and my ex split, I got all four of my boys. When him and his ex split, he got all three of his kids. And all that zoo. I pray that neither one of you have to go through that shit, because it sucks big time. It really fucking sucks. And it sucks for your kids, and trying to maintain and keep things sane and loving and sort of level for your kids.
Mhm.
But meeting Larry, he and I just eventually more and more grew to like each other and respect each other. So have gotten back into the business on that end. Would I like to act again? I love fucking acting. I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I would do if I could feed myself and keep a roof over my head and help support my sons and my fiance, I would do community theater. I'd act out in the woods for squirrels. I love, I mean, think about it. It used to fry my ass when I was an actor through the 80s and the 90s, and I was working a lot, and you'd get on some set and there'd be an actor go, "Yeah, this sucked." Wait a second. They pay us more in a week than most people make in a year. Okay, maybe not so much you, but maybe you make more in a week than most people make in 2 months.
Mhm.
And all we got to do is put on clothes, say some words that somebody else wrote, and give an emotional validity to those words.
Mhm.
So what the fuck is your problem? Do you want to go
Yeah.
dig ditches? Would that be better for you? Would
Right.
you like to stand in line in a fucking assembly line all day? Would you like to stand at Target and have some asshole treat you like shit because they feel, you're waiting on me and I get to treat you like shit?
Right. Like
So
you're
just
living the dream. Don't complain.
be
Yeah.
thankful. Yeah, you get paid to pretend, to
Mhm.
pretend, to put on other clothes and pretend. So, I
Yeah.
would love to act again. And not so much for the monetary aspects, but it's just fun. It's fun researching a character. It's fun finding out. I mean, when I did My Demon Lover, I tried to figure out what made that character tick. I literally, coming from graduating from the academy and working at the actor's studio and studying with somebody like Elia Kazan, it was really why. Why does this person behave the way they behave? Why is this important to them? Why is their relationship with Maddie this? Why is their relationship with Anthony that? And that's fun. I love. I'm the kind of guy that when a movie ends, I'll go, "So where do you think Jason Bourne went after that? Did he go to get a coffee, or do you think he went back?"
That's awesome. I do
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
thing, actually.
Yeah.
You're like,
You
"What do you
Too,
mean?
when we
They're
watched
fictitious. The movie's over. What are you asking that?" No, they're a real person.
Oh, there's more. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Avengers Endgame came out, my wife and I had the longest, most intense conversation where she came out of the theater, and I'm always like the pro superhero and fighting for good things, and she comes out and she's like, "No, I totally side with Thanos. I think that was a great job." And I'm like, You
Kill
know?
half the world.
And she was like, well, he made the hard decision nobody else could do. And it was completely unbiased. And if something had to happen to save billions and billions of people, and he had to make that hard, and she was totally going on. And after maybe 2 hours, 3 hours of this conversation, I was like, holy fuck, you're right.
That's because she's a mom, man. Moms know how to make the hard decisions sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so it was pretty crazy. Before we so we normally love to do a 20 questions and to for our listeners to get to know you a little bit better on the personal side. We'll probably forego some of those questions. There's some pretty important questions we want to ask you, but before we get to those, I'd really like to ask you about a lot of the voice work you've done. You've done everything from Animaniacs to Batman, Superman. You even played Metallo as Lois and Clark. Did you really how did you find voice work compared to the regular acting, screen?
Fucking loved it, dude. Loved
Yeah.
it. I love acting.
Mhm.
The great thing is though, you could roll out of bed, be in your sweats and flip flops,
Mhm.
go into the studio. The cartoon that I did, Phantom 2040. I don't know if
Yes.
you saw that.
Yep.
Mark Hamill, Deborah Harry, Leah Remini, Pam Alden. I'm trying to think who else. Paul Williams. You guys are too young. You won't know who Paul Williams is. Voice talents: Rob Paulson, Kath Soucie, Carrie Snodgrass, Margot Kidder, and these people are
Wow.
fucking rock stars in their own right.
Mark Hamill's still my favorite voice actor.
But he's also a great guy. He's just a great guy. Leah
heard that.
Remini, great gal. Pam, I don't know if you know, she was Pam Segal, then she's now Pam Alden. She was on Californication. She's got her own show. Great person. Rob Paulson, great voice talent, but just a great person. Kath Soucie, just great person. And then to go do things like Animaniacs or Batman and Robin, you get to play. I love to do voices and I love to do silly things like that. And just the fact that they're paying you to do that.
Yeah.
Silly shit you did when you were a kid and you'd kind of goof around with your other buddies or goof around with your girlfriend. And they're going to pay you thousands of dollars to do this. Sure, I'll do that. I love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. It's so good.
That's amazing.
That's the dream. I always love the voiceover artist people. I really enjoy a lot of the work and the fact that you can step outside of your skin. And in a regular acting, I mean, when you're on screen acting, people see you, so they've already built an image of what you're going to do or what you're going to look like. But when you're voicing a cartoon character or even just any other type of audio thing, you could be anyone, anything. You can look like
anything.
Yeah.
When you do, I mean, look, guys like Clint Eastwood, he's had a phenomenal career. Hi, baby. My fiance just came in.
Say hi. Have her lean in. We'll say hi.
Lean in, baby. The fellas want you to say hi. She looks sleepy. She's like,
We'll say hi anyways. No, that's okay.
Mind you, she's sitting here naked, and that's a little distracting. But
Oh, okay.
ow! Throwing shit at me. My God. Where were we? Where were we? I'm looking at her breast, and I'm totally distracted. What was the Anthony? Seriously, I just totally lost it.
Well, I know if someone's naked there, I would lose it too. No, we were just talking about being a voiceover person. Like you can literally step outside your body.
Yes.
Anything, literally anything.
Clint Eastwood is literally played a version of the same guy he was in spaghetti westerns, doing for whoever it was, the Italian director. I can't think of his name, in Italy.
Yeah.
In the beginning of his career, and he's done a variation of that character for years and years and years. And unfortunately, in America, less so in Europe, you have to play that same type of character. The audience wants to see you as that. And that was another mistake I made as a young actor, thinking I want to get away from playing. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I want to be the doctor. I want to be the jet pilot. I want to be the psycho. I want to be something. In theater, you can do that. In American television, American film, not so much. Now, there are some people that can. Philip Seymour Hoffman, phenomenal. Robert De Niro to a certain degree, yes. But Al Pacino has always played a variation of like that thuggish, Italian asshole.
Yeah.
You know, even when
Great
he's
job,
loving. There's the guy. Who was the guy who kills himself in Full Metal Jacket with the gun under his in the bathroom?
Yes.
Um,
The big guy who got beaten with the soap bars.
yes. But anyway, you know who I mean.
Yes.
Him.
Yeah.
He's been able to do different characters. So the fact when you're doing a voice and it's like, no, we don't want Scott Valentine's voice. We want whatever voice you want. Let me hear. What do you got? And that you can inhabit this other being. Love it, man. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit.
So cool.
Good shit.
Very, very cool. Right on. So Maddie, let's choose some choice questions out of our 20 questions, and we're gonna ask Scott a few things under our rapid fire question section.
Well, here,
these are just some things to get to know you a little bit better as a person.
Blue.
Okay, that's the first one. Yeah.
Cilantro.
Yeah.
okay, all right. Selective ones, eh?
Yeah.
I'll go by the ones that I find always fun.
Okay.
If you could choose a superpower, which would it be?
Ooh. Does it have to be a superpower?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
What do you?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a traditional superpower. You could say I have
I'd like
eight
gills.
knocks. I don't care.
I'd like to be able to either breathe underwater or fly.
Okay, so
Cool.
Superpower mutation. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Nice. What foreign language would you most like to learn?
En français.
Yeah.
Well, you'd be
language of
totally
love.
welcome, at least in Quebec, when you want to order your poutine. So.
S'il vous plaît, monsieur.
Yeah.
Je prends un petit peu, très petit.
Yep.
That's it. No more.
What-
Je suis
What-
back.
Bathrooms that way. Yep.
This is always a good one. What
Jennifer's
was
shaking
the
her head. Someone idiot, stop.
what was the first movie that ever made you cry?
Brian's song.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys know it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're a couple of young fellas, you know, so.
Hey, I was born in '87. I got a taste of some good 80s stuff. How would you spend $100 million right now?
Okay. I would buy a beautiful house.
Mhm.
I would quit work.
Why not?
Good start.
Quit work. I would help each of my sons get a house.
Mhm.
Real estate's so fucking expensive in LA.
No shit.
Yeah.
I would help my siblings but they've done pretty well by themselves, so really don't need my help.
Mm.
And then I'd sock a lot of it away and buy munis and bonds, you know, low fixed income, and just sort of live on it. And I'd spend half the day making love to Jennifer, and I'd spend the other half of the day reading books and working out.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
I like
awesome,
it.
man.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your biggest pet peeve? What gets on your nerves?
Don't you hate it like getting on the subway? It's not just the subway, going through any portal or, you know, in an aisle in a grocery store where it's like,
Mhm.
it's rather obvious this is for through traffic. This is to flow.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're getting on the subway in New York, they do it a lot. You know, people are like,
Don't pick a lane.
Yeah.
yeah, pick a lane, or just if you're lost, which is okay because I'm lost a lot, move to the side.
Yeah.
Move to the
Yeah.
side, you know,
Driving
that's one. Can I give another pet peeve?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
People that will sit there and pontificate and be so adamant in their disposition, whether it's politically, spiritually, relationship wise, and you know they're flat out fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
That you could go and Google, you could Bing, you could go any search engine, you can get a book and go read this motherfucker. Okay,
And they still will argue their point.
you are a stupid motherfucker,
Yeah.
and you know not of what you speak. So that, and just as you get older, and you guys will see, you just sort of. When I was your age, Maddie, I thought I could actually change people around, you know, or no, I'd take up the argument. When I was your age, Anthony, I'd be like, you know, no. Now it's just I shut my mouth. Honey,
That's
let's
fair.
go home and go to bed, okay, honey? These people are idiots, and I don't want to hang out.
It's funny. My wife and I, we have like we've established eye
Get a look.
signals. Yeah. So
Really.
yeah, we'll be like, this conversation is terrible and these people are horrible.
Wink, wink.
It's not like that.
Matt and his wife come up with an eye signal if they're out to dinner and the people are idiots or they're at a party and they know, like that. Give each other.
Like she's doing right now.
That's amazing. All right, 2 more questions for you, bud.
Yeah. You gotta ask. I'm gonna step in. You gotta ask the alien question because that's an important.
Okay. Oh yeah. So we have a good track record. Yeah. Sorry, I skipped it. Yeah. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Good.
Awesome.
We're running a really good track record on this one.
Yep.
No, I mean, come on, look at the further we know, the more we know, we don't know. But the more we know, there's got to be other multi-celled or other intelligent existence. Look at how big the fucking universe is.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at it. And there's got to be other planets.
How arrogant can someone be to think we're the only thing in the entire universe?
Yeah, that's so arrogant.
Weird,
so arrogant. And it's like there's got to be other people that are ahead of us in their gestation period and other beings that are behind us that are little, dual-celled organisms. So it just,
yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that's a good answer. What is the best thing that you've ever eaten?
Ooh, I don't think I can say that in front of my honey.
Good answer. I like that one.
We'll roll with that.
She can't hear.
Perfect.
Okay by me.
Yeah. Saves you from flying shoes.
Yes.
And the last question I have for you today: what is your favorite podcast that you've been on in the last 6 hours?
You wouldn't believe what she just did. Oh my god! Oh my god! The freaking awesome podcast. All right, motherfucker.
Ah, boy.
Awesome.
It's freaking awesome. It's awesome.
Well, that's amazing, Scott. Like I gotta say, it's been a real pleasure chatting with you. I'm really glad you were able to make some time. It's wonderful to just see like how just down to earth and just going through the experience that you've had and just being literally a normal, decent person, right? Like, there's a lot of opportunities that would have come up to you that a lesser man would have taken advantage of, and it's really good to see.
Yeah, I like that. I like your stories and how much integrity you have in them.
Yes,
100%. I love that.
It's all a lie. It's all
and congrats on starting your podcast as well. That's awesome. We'll have to come visit you sometime.
We got to have you guys on it, and also congrats to my pending nuptial bliss with this beautiful blue-eyed, platinum-haired woman. Okay.
Oh, congratulations! That's amazing.
Who for some reason tolerates me. I don't know why, because I tell bad jokes, I fart, and she still lets me hang out. So
she's seen what you've done, and she's still there. So it's got to be.
I know.
Because of the old tripod, Scotty.
She saw that episode of Matlock and still wants to be with me. Okay.
There. You know what? I won everybody over with the Playgirl magazine. So.
Yeah, that's a fun one, laddie. Especially when you have teenage sons.
Explain that.
Hey, I am not naked in there. All right, Anthony.
It was tastefully done. Tastefully done.
Yeah.
Stunt cock.
All right, you guys rock. High five.
Yes.
Good guys.
Yeah, let us know when your link for your new show. We'd love to push it out for you. So any of our listeners that, of course, who are on the road right now and listening to this live feed after the fact, we'll make sure we put a beautiful shot of Scott up on our guest page, as well as any links to get to social media and his show as well.
Oh, let me send you a picture. I am a little bit neurotic about that. There's one that people pull off the internet, and I look all sweaty, like I'm on coke or something, which I'm not. I'm like, I gotta send the other one. That was at a premiere, and I was not having fun, and the person I was with was a bit of an idiot. So
Hey, fire it over. We'll put anything up there you want.
But the podcast is why should I listen to them?
Okay.
It'll be on with Red Coral. So either find it on Red Coral or why should I listen to them? I believe it's on all the usual suspects. I can't think. You guys know better than I do where it would be found.
Players. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good.
You guys rock. Even though you're Canadians, I'm amazed. You're good guys.
You're ever up this way, we'll make sure you get a good poutine.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you.
You too. Take care, Scott.
Later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.